Hello students, one more broad question was left that I already mentioned in my previous audio presentation lecture that I will create one more audio presentation tutorial video for you all where I will discuss the last part or the last question. It is not a line from the text but it is very much related with the nature of Nick Middleton. So here I go. He is an adventurer but at heart more meticulous. Meticulous means very careful, very systematic. The meaning of meticulous, meticulous. Meticulous means very methodical, very systematic, very calculative. I repeat, very systematic, very calculative, very methodical. That is the meaning of the term meticulous. Academic than a daredevil. He is more of an academic, less of a daredevil. Explain the truth of the statement about the author based on your reading of the travelogue. And I already told you it is actually a travelogue, or we can say a travel account. Based on your reading of the travelogue Silk Road by Nick Middleton. You have to describe the entire thing. You have to describe the nature of Nick Middleton. He is more of a meticulous academic than a daredevil. How much do you argue with this particular statement? You have to describe it with reference to the travelogue or the travel account as been written by Nick Middleton entitled Silk Road. Oxford professor and travel writer or you can say travelogue writer, Nick Middleton is truly an adventurer, but he is not a daredevil. He is more a meticulous academic, or rather to say at heart, more a meticulous academic than a daredevil adventurer. He is an environmental consultant. This is for your knowledge, dear students. I already told you he is a geography professor. He is also an environmental consultant. Maybe in some of my live classes I told you regarding this, that he was an environmental consultant also. And that was the reason when he was in places like Darchen, he was in places like Horde, he saw the wastages, he saw a lot of dirt and dust that he recorded in his travel book and that he recorded in this travelogue. He is an environmental consultant who has written many articles in journals, magazines and newspapers, as well as 16 books. He has written many articles in many noted journals, magazines and newspapers, and most importantly, another feather in his cap, he has written not less than 16 books also to his credit. Nick Middleton teaches geography. I already told you at the very outset of the lecture when I was discussing the short questions, when I was discussing the broad questions, when I discussed with you the textual explanation of the NCERT text in my previous audio presentation also, there also I told you that he was a professor of geography at Oxford University, and it is written here, and is a fellow of St. Anne's College. His main research interest is in the nature and human use of deserts and their margins. Okay, so his area of interest or his research is related with the human application or the human use of deserts and its demography or its margins and all those. After reaching Horde, what he was struck by was not the natural beauty of the place, but the litter all around the area left by tourists. I already told you he was a very concerned environmentalist. So the place, after reaching Horde, he was very much disturbed that the scarcity of the place was hampered now. And tourists, they have littered and wasted that place by throwing garbages here and there. So he, as a concerned environmentalist, pinpointed environment pollution that he saw in Horde. He was disappointed to see how man was destroying the environment or ruining the environment. Being an environmental consultant, he was much disturbed at how the environment is slowly deteriorating due to human activity. Now, being an environmental consultant, he was very much concerned about the preservation of environment, and he was very much disturbed at the way human beings is using the environment, rather to say using the environment in such a way that it is deteriorating day by day, and he was very much concerned by it. And it is slowly deteriorating. The environment, he can realize, or he came to the conclusion that the environment is slowly deteriorating and day by day, and it is basically because of reckless human intervention, or rather to say, dear students, it is because of human activity. One more paragraph is there to end this answer. He gives a graphic detail of the mountain terrain, the snow-covered mountains. As an environmentalist and a nature lover, apart from citing references about environmental pollution, he also given many references about the beauty of the landscape, the mountain terrain, the snow-covered mountains, and the calm and relaxed people he met there, particularly at Darchen. He strongly believes that travel broadens our mind. Yes. And totally he believed in that proverb that travels broadens our mind. We get to meet with many people. We get to accustom ourselves with their manifold cultures and customs of different people. We get to know about their ethnicity, about their folklores and many things. So summing up the entire thing, Nick Middleton was right. Actually, travel broadens our mind, or rather to say our outlook. So the author is the right example of that. That yes, it is true that travel broadens our mind. We get to know not only about the place, about the topography and the climate about the place, but also the livestock and the lifestyle of the people who are living in that place. So dear students, I discussed the last broad question also from Silk Road. Some more questions I will discuss in some of my other tutorial audios that I will upload later. My advice to you all, listen to this tutorial audio also, just like the others, and if there is any doubt, any confusion, kindly ask me. Thank you students. Thank you all.